Right, Sagittarius, so your reading is up first for this week. General reading for 1 till 10 September for Sagittarius and everybody else watching. If you are here, there's a message here for you. And when you come across that message, it's time for you to claim that message. So, take a nice deep breath and you say yes to that. In this reading, which is a general reading, so please take it as it resonates. We're going to take a look at the general energy for 1 till 10 September for the sign of Sagittarius with me, AHN, your psychic tarot reader. We're going to take a look at your recent past, your current energy, immediate future, clarify, see what's coming up, end off with an oracle message, and do a little bit of a recap for you at the end, just to make sure that you get everything quite clearly. So stick around for your whole message beginning to end. All right, so for you, sort of leading to where you are at the moment, then there might be some ideas around money which have brought you towards where you are. Money, your sense of security, your sense of life, where you're going, where you're not going, that sort of thing. It's like for some of you, you really focus on creating a sense of place, a sense of home, a sense of security for you. So whereas before, maybe, if you faced whatever challenges it is that you might have been facing, whereas before you may have thought that maybe I need to go somewhere different, I need to do somewhere different, I need to move. There's more sense of being sort of like rooted where you are, established where you are, and then saying, okay, how can I work around things around here, And I can see that you came up with some pretty smart ideas over there. I can see that, you were definitely visited by the sort of I suppose you can call it the energy or the spirit of good ideas. And so what is it bringing you in the present? Possibly love. There's definitely some choices that's coming here for you, some opportunities that is coming here for you in your current space where you are at the moment, the energy of choice. So this is a space of good ideas, possibly sort of like unconventional ideas, at least by the sort of like the measurements of others, that is actually beginning to pay off here. That's giving you some choices. So you may have been doing some things on your own, some inner work, some actual work, and where it is at the moment, those choices from the past is giving you options and opportunities that other people might be like, oh, that is what she was working at, that is what he was doing, that sort of thing. Lots of healing here. I say almost like pruning your sort of garden, A lot of times in life we live very much by other people's expectations and what it is that we are supposed to do and what it is that we're not supposed to do. And I can see you pretty much tending to your own hedges, not very sort of concerned about what other people say and not say and that sort of thing. And that in a way really does propel you forward, okay? Might be faced with some challenges at the moment, possibly a couple of smaller things, and then one big thing, or so something big, then what all this sort of little, almost default sort of consequences that goes along with a big situation at the moment. And let's see what is happening there with that going forward. There's a lot of growth that is taking place here for you, a lot of inner growth, a lot of inner child healing, going through the dark night of the soul, but also getting the lesson, or possibly sort of more have kind of gone through the dark night of the soul and wrapping things up where you are at the moment. And then going forward, there's definitely that strength that is stepping forward, that sort of Leo energy, maybe dealing with a Leo, or just having strong Leo in your chart, even possibly a Virgo. And if you don't know where your placements are, you can always look in your link. There's a link down below in the description. There's a free natal chart. Have a look at that. But going forward, there's a space of ideas paying off. There's a beautiful space of ideas paying off. And ideas paying off so much better than you can actually imagine. So maybe some of you, you're just starting something because maybe you feel, you just want to do something extra. Maybe you just want to get a little bit of extra income. Maybe you're kind of dressing up and changing a little because you just want to feel a little bit better about yourself and about life and about your sort of your surroundings and things like that. But things are paying off way better than you actually sort of initially would have even anticipated things working out. So that is really, really great. And that is literally the power of tending to your own hedges. Okay. Your challenge for this week, we have got the Tower, and this is your Mars energy. And your Mars energy is about getting through difficult periods. This is typically when it seems things are falling apart, but in actual fact, it's actually things moving together. So for a lot of you, things can be feeling sort of flaky at the moment. but it is a space of moving from a darker space into a much lighter sort of space. A lot of deep inner clearing, generational clearing, ancestral clearing, clearing from other lives, clearing from childhood traumas, other people's ideas, traumas that happened to you, you know, sort of like after childhood. All of those type of things are being cleared out at the moment, making space for better and more beautiful things, Sagittarius, to come into your life. All right, so you can have a much more fulfilling experience of life. Clarifying that recent past there for you, we got the Page of Wands, the Six of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. So for some of you, I can definitely see that space where maybe you were done with something or done with someone. You were like, you know what, I'm done with you. I'm moving on from you. But then I can see that you gave your heart, you gave life, you gave love, you gave a connection, you gave someone else, gave them a second chance. You know, like, do I actually want to give you a second chance? But then I can see you giving that second chance. And I can also see that maybe you've given people second chances before, Sagittarius, but it was more sort of like giving them second chances with, you know, by saying that you're doing it. But I don't feel that it was such a deep inner sort of thing. It's not about being two-faced. It's more about, before, you know, you could have been dealing with someone, dealing with a connection where you were just like, you know, you're just going to do it again. So I'm just going to wait until you do it again. That sort of thing. But I can see that your mind changed this time around. And because your mind changed, things started to move in a very positive direction there with the Wheel of Fortune, which is that positive Jupiter energy with things moving in a positive direction. Negative things that are not serving you best coming to the surface. But coming to the surface in a way that you realize these are the things that I need to deal with. These are the things that are withholding me from what it is that I'd like to have. So it's a beautiful way of maturing in the energy of seeing things for what they actually are, about taking responsibility for your you know, for your experience of life. And as this card puts it so nicely in the recent past, is that fertility tonic, where you don't just blame others for everything any longer. You actually see, what is it that I can change? What is it that I can release? And, you know, as you then do that, then things start to shift in a very positive direction there for you. Maybe not fast changes, not everything all at once, but beautifully little bit by little bit by little bit, those small little miracles, you know, that begin to shift things in a different direction. Okay, so it's basically sort of like the benefit of the small miracles that are, you know, that are happening. It's the little things that make life worth living. Those are the things that started to happen in your current space. Let's first just draw a card for that Lover's energy, the Gemini, the choice energy where you are at the moment. You want to know that you've got choices, you want to know that you've got options, because some of you may feel that you actually do not, and you do, all right? You've got the Moon energy, which is Pisces energy. It's about dreams, it's about your aspirations, your passions, you know, the things that are close to your heart. It's also a reminder for you that the desires of your heart and the fruition of the desires of your heart is very much dependent on the sort of feelings, emotions, thoughts, ideas, and beliefs that you sort of harbor within yourself. You know, it's literally that the thoughts that you think and the words that you speak and the actions that you take as a direct result of that are the seeds that you are planting in the subconscious of your mind, and those are the seeds that, you know, grow and become your experience of life. So just a reminder there to watch your thoughts a little bit, Sagittarius. A good thing, probably one of the best tips that I ever got in my life, is that when you think of certain things, and you kind of periodically want to check in with yourself, would I really want to have this thought that I'm thinking? Would I like this to, you know, to grow into fruition of life experience? Because would I like this sort of life experience, you know? And sometimes you've got this idea, you're just going to say love and light to the end and everything's going to work out. I tried that, it doesn't work. Okay, let's get you some clarification more for your current space. Going to take a card from the top of the deck and the bottom of the deck. Eight of Swords and the Knight of Cups. All right, so this is a space of moving forward. This is a space of moving out of difficult spaces. This is a space where you're beginning to see solutions for problems that seem very binding. So the guidance here for you, Sagittarius, is if you're finding yourself in a space with some challenges in life that seems like you are never going to find a solution to this, or it's going to be very difficult, it's going to take very long, it's going to be very challenging, it's going to be very expensive, the universe is letting you know that there is someone coming in here to help you sort of like lighten the load. You know, this could be a connection in love. Could also be that if somebody opened their heart to you and they maybe had a conversation with you that they'd like to sort of start or grow something beautiful with you, don't be too close to that idea, because that might be the breakthrough miracle that you have been asking for and praying for and hoping for. Okay. So definitely be open to that as well. Because sometimes when we're not open to things, you know, we go like, well, where's the miracle that was promised to me? You know, where's the breakthrough that was promised to me that I felt within myself, that I believed if I hand over to a higher source to faith, that's going to happen. You know, that the psychic reader said it's going to come my way. Where is it? And what often happens is if we're not close, you know, if we're not open to that and we're closer to it, and we sort of like, well, it's never going to happen for me, and we sort of like committed to the idea that it's going to be difficult. And we've got so many ways of justifying that, you know, life is difficult, life is challenging, I know from experience. Then what we really do is we close ourselves off to the breakthrough that we want to have. And then even when it happens, we either don't notice it, or in your case, you maybe don't trust it. So you're like, well, I don't trust it, maybe this is not it, it's too easy, it should be more difficult, maybe they're not authentic, and so forth and so forth. And then what you actually want passes you by. So be on the lookout for that. Okay. Let's clarify your potential outcome, this beautiful healing that's taking place here, this new direction that you are heading in, these new thoughts. You know, I see very sort of what I suppose what you can call unconventional thoughts coming your way, not the sort of thoughts that you would initially just sort of have within you, and then saying, I don't know. Don't be too close to new things that are coming your way, all right? For your clarifications going forward, for your immediate future potential outcomes, Sagittarius, you've got the world, you've got the devil, and you've got the Two of Pentacles. So this is all about cycles ending, and as cycles are coming to an end, we often see the things that are not sort of conducive to the next level that we are going to. You know, a lot of times we call these things negative, but they're just not conducive. You know, it's like buying a beautiful pair of shoes, and maybe you're still in your growing phases. It might be the most beautiful pair of shoes, and you wear it for like 2 or 3 years, and there's nothing wrong with them. They're still amazing as ever, maybe even better than when you bought them. But your feet are too big now, they just don't fit you. So you can either force yourself into that, or you can realize that it's time to move on from there. And there's some changes coming, there's some prosperous changes coming, especially those of you that are concerned about money, that are concerned about making ends meet, Sagittarius. There's quite a beautiful breakthrough happening there for you as well. But again, you need to trust it, you need to allow it, because otherwise the most beautiful thing can come and we don't get it. All right. Let's see what oracle message we have for you with love notes and messages from the universe. I really like this deck of cards. It's a really, really beautiful deck of cards. And links to all my cards are down below in the description. If this reading is useful, if it resonates with you, definitely go ahead and like the video. And also remember to subscribe and to hit that notification bell so that you know when your reading is coming out every single week. All right. So it says that you have more options than you realize, which is literally what we've been speaking about. You know, more options than you realize, more breakthroughs available than you realize, more help available than you realize. But if we are close up to something and we're committed to this is how it's going to be, then we sort of cut ourselves out of that. Because something that I kind of like to discuss quite a lot of times, especially when I teach sort of like psychic development and those type of things, is that you can manifest yourself out of a wonderful thing if you actually manifest it for yourself initially. And usually when you go through the layers, it boils down to fear. There's also a message for you down at the back, and the message says, it sure is hard to get really angry at someone when you can think of all the reasons you love them. And you can. A message there from the universe. All right, you have more options than you realize. So that's what I got for you, Sagittarius. I hope that it helps. If any of you are open to deep exploration, take a look at the link down below in the description for free reading. Definitely check out my step-by-step tarot reading course, and also most certainly check out my free oracle card reading course as well. From my heart, namaste, love and light. See you next time. Bye.